Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for September 13th. We're currently looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This particular pair closed lower on Friday and is moving lower with a bias to the downside. This pair has gapped down a significant amount, about 37 pips during this during the new session, or at the beginning of the new session. There is, remember, an 89.1% chance that this gap will be retraced prior to Friday's close. Now, we are looking for this pair to potentially move as high as 92.32, possibly as low as 89.55. Look for some resistance around 91.39 and look for some support around 90.00. Now, switching over to the Euro USD pair, this particular pair closed as a doji bar. It closed exactly where it opened after moving higher, breaking the previous session's resistance. Did pull back and close at even. Now, this pair gapped up at the open. It's already retraced to the previous Friday's close. With this doji bar, we could see a reversal, and I'll get into that here a little bit more later. This pair is moving higher. It does have a bias to the upside. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 147.21, possibly as low as 144.80. Look for some resistance around 146.50 and look for some support around 145.35. Now, switching to the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair gapped up at the open as well. Not that significant of a gap, and it looks like it's pretty much retraced it already. We are looking for this pair to continue higher with a bias to the upside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 168.50, possibly as low as 165.39. Look for some resistance around 165.50 and look for some support around 166.25 in this pair. Now, switching over to the US Swiss, this particular pair closed down on Friday, obviously has a bias to the downside, is moving lower. This pair did gap up. It has retraced that gap, so we could see it reverse and continue lower. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 1.0461, possibly as low as 1.0269. Look for some resistance around 10400 and look for some support around 10337 in this pair. Now, there are really no news announcements, no significant news announcements for tomorrow, so you don't really have to worry about that. What I am looking for, though, during this next session, if you notice that the Euro USD created a doji bar after a breakout, a fairly strong move, not super long, but nonetheless, if you take this session's high as the breakout point and close at the doji, you're talking about a 174 pip move. It could get a reversal after moving that much. Not, like I said, not a huge move, but nonetheless, if you look over the past several months, reversals have occurred after moving about that amount, possibly less. So we could definitely see it. Now let me zoom back in. So what am I exactly looking for? Well, I'm looking for a break of the doji bar's low. Let me switch to the 4-hour time frame. We do have some concerns, or I have some concerns here as far as trading this. Kind of where some support and resistance lines are, things you need to be aware of. So if you look to go short at 145.52, you're gonna come into some potential support around the 50 pips in, possibly even a little bit higher at around 20 pips, 15 to 20 pips in. So you definitely need to keep an eye on these points. So 15 to 20 pips in, we have areas of resistance and support, previous support. If it breaks through that, you could probably move your stop loss, to break even as we break through this point. And once we hit around the 50 pips into profit mark, we're going to hit another area of potential support. Then you come on down at around 75, and if we break through that, that really opens up until we get down to this point. So it's what's nice about this trade. If you take a look at it, and let me grab these, we can actually take a look at some of these numbers. Looks like we got about 85 in risk if you put your stop loss above the high. Your first area of real support that we're going to see is probably around 16 pips down, possibly a little bit lower. You have this point around 50, the 50 mark, where we have these 30 to 50 mark here. We possibly could see some basically within this realm where it went sideways. Then once it breaks through that area around 77 is what it looks like here. At that point it opens wide open down what I call a window of opportunity down to 189 pips. So while we do have a lot of areas of potential support in this area, basically from here up, we do, once we break through that, from this point to this point, it would be a very quick, should be a very quick run. So that's definitely good news. So if you want to take a look at this trade, I put your stop loss about here. Look to go short around this area. Look for, once we get a break of this line past some previous resistance here and support at this point, and in through here, look to go to break even. Once we move down to this low, about 50 pips in, you can move it again. The nice thing about having these areas of support and resistance like this, I know you can get reversals, you can have the trade stall on you, but the nice thing is you also have places that okay, this is when I need to move my stop loss, which can really save you money as the trade develops, especially if it develops on down to this point. You can really lock in profit, and once you get through that, just kind of let it run. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.